Navigation, 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 navigation. So we just recently had a navigation clinic here at the Appalachian Bushman School. Taught lots of good navigation skills. I learned some things myself, and I wanted to share some of this stuff with everybody. These are common mistakes I see people make when it comes to using one of these things out in the woods. Why they're to the right or the left, or they are just totally gone. So precision is important when you are using one of these things. From point A to point B, you need to follow that precise bearing to get there, okay? But there are some things that people do that alter that, and I'm going to talk about them right now. They're easy, they're simple fixes, they're things that once I tell you and you recognize them, you won't do it again. When we shoot a bearing, it is extremely important that our compass is flat and level. Tilting our compass this way or this way or that way or this way can affect what bearing we are following. It is going to affect the needle possibly. It can also affect our view from our mirror down onto our bezel plate. So it's important that you hold your compass flat and level the best to your ability that you can in order for the most precise readings. Now this is not going to apply to everyone. It depends on what type of compass you have. This is a Sunto MCB compass, okay, and it has a really cool feature. Think of a fun house. Let's start here. Think of a fun house. You go in front of those mirrors. Some of them make you look tall, some make you look short, some make you look like a stud, other make you look normal. Point being that the mirror on our compass, okay, when we look into it, we're getting a reflection of the bezel. So it is important that we keep that very consistent time and time again. Now the reason I said that not every compass is going to have this is because this MCB model actually has clicks. So you can go 1, 2, and the third click it's closed. So I tell individuals, find which click works best for you, and every bearing that you shoot, use that one. That's going to keep your mirrored image of your bezel consistent. The closer you get here or the further away you get here, it's going to distort that ever so slightly, possibly throwing you off. Now if your compass doesn't have those clicks, simply use 2 or 3 fingers in between the bezel plate and the top mirror area. For this case, 2 fingers, drop it down. If it touches there, just keep it there every time. If it gets messed up, next time you do it, 2 fingers there and you're good to go. Now the next one is to wear a lanyard. Not only because I see people lose their compass, believe it or not, people lose their compass out in the field, but it's also going to give you a very consistent measurement distance from where you're holding your compass out in front of you for a bearing to the object you're looking at. Now there's a ton of different schools of thought with this. Again, you find what works best for you, but I'm telling you what I see with students often. A lot of times they'll bring their compass in very, very, very close to them like this in order to shoot the bearing. The problem with that is the closer we bring this in, when we look through our peephole, the peephole looks a lot larger, or aiming notch, whatever you want to call it. It looks a lot larger. We can see a larger field of view in front of us, okay? So it's going to be a little bit more difficult when we do it here to find a precise exact point in which we are aiming at, okay? That tree is going to look a lot smaller in that V-notch compared to if we were way out here. If I stretch way out and try to do it this way, that tree might fill the entire V-notch up. So, depending on what you're doing, what I found a happy medium to be is to keep your lanyard on, and it's going to give you a consistent measurement every single time. So not only now do we have our compass straight and level, we also have our mirror angled properly, and we have a consistent distance from our eye to our peephole every single time. And the last one is a fail-safe method to make sure your compass is level and not crooked at all. Mainly crooked side to side this way, okay? I can look at the camera lens right now. I can see all of you out there, and if I turn my compass like this, I could still see my camera lens, okay? And that's a problem. That's pointing in a totally wrong direction. So there's a really easy way to fix that, and there's a built-in device to fix that in your compass. All right, friends, so what we're looking at when we use this feature, okay, is we're looking at, number one, the center, what I call the center pin. That's the axis point of our needle on our compass. So we have to know where that is. So that is what I'm referring to as the center pin. Next is on the mirror of the compass, you're going to see a line, okay? When we aim the compass and we turn this over this way, we're looking through this aiming notch, okay? Once everything's all lined up, the easiest way to make sure our compass isn't pointing this way or this way, because again, I can look through, if this was my line of sight, I can look through this aiming notch, okay? But my compass can be crooked, and my compass can be crooked this way, and I'm still looking through the aiming notch. I didn't even move my stick or my line of sight. So to make sure that we are straight, what we want to do is we want to make sure that this line in our mirror right here is dissecting this center point, okay? Now, with the camera it's hard, I can't close this down, but we want to make sure, again, when we are looking in our mirror, we're making sure that our point of reference is here that we're looking to go to, that we are on the right bearing, that the needle is in the doghouse, and then lastly, we want to make sure that this line on the mirror, which you can see right there, okay, that line up and down is dissecting this pivot point. If it is, it means your compass is straight and you're looking straight through it. So there you go, my fellow navigators. There are some tips, some hot tips for you next time you go out and you're running a nav course or just doing navigation on your own, or maybe you're going on that hunting trip for elk out west and you are shooting a bearing into the mountains so you know where you're going and how to get back. No matter what it is, all of those tips are drastically going to help you, so I highly encourage you to use them. They're going to work out great for you. So this was Dan Wallach of Coalcracker Bushcraft. As always, check us out at coalcrackerbushcraft.com. Until next video, navigate on.